basic stuff, so that everyone gets a brief idea. And after that, we'll do. Now, should I start? Hello, everyone. Shashwat here. I'm club head of Cybernauts Club. So sorry for the 10 minutes delay. And the reason was like we had a few problems in connection, this lockdown and stuff. So it's like a bit difficult. So today we'll discuss about Flask, which is a web application framework for Python, which is quite important and one of my favorite frameworks in Python. And moreover, we'll talk about tkinter library at the end, which is a GUI framework for Python. It's also quite interesting, and I'll tell you integrating Python with SQL and all that stuff. So let's enjoy today's stream. So I'll wait for a few minutes so like a few more people can join, and after that we'll start with the final content. Till then, I'll wait for a while for some few students. Yeah, so in this whole event will be coding along with me. Like I'll keep coding and you'll be coding along with me. So it won't be something very difficult. You just need to have the bare minimum requirements. Okay, so today I'm going to use VS Code, which is Visual Studio Code. Like Visual Studio Code and Sublime Text are two of my favorite editor. I generally prefer these two, but let's see how it goes today. So sorry for that framework. So yeah, how many watchings do we have now, Sneha? Uh, okay, nice. So now let's get started. Welcome to the Cybernauts Club event, guys. So this event is powered by Tech Indus, which is a AI-based company in Rajasthan and is developing in the field of AI. Today we'll have an opportunity to talk to the CEO of the company at the end. So now let's get into the coding stuff. So I'll share my display. So Sneha, can you see my display? Yeah, so now let's get started. So there would be a guys thing on the notepad. So yeah, welcome guys. Now today we'll use VS Code for the basic programming. VS Code. So I'll tell you about VS Code. VS Code is a code editor. It's like a very strong code editor. This is what we generally use for developing like chains of programs because it has like various plugins for various languages. It has auto adjustment module, and like one of my favorite code editor is VS Code. So this is available for both Windows and Mac. So no problem if you are using a Mac or Windows. So we'll start by downloading this one, like the VS Code thing. Okay, so you just need to go on Google, you need to search VS Code, and the first website, you have to download this thing, download this stable build from here. So this would be the thing. And apart from this, see, I'll tell you a few options you will have. You can use Anaconda if you want. Then if you use Anaconda, don't go for Jupyter Notebook when you're programming big programs. Jupyter Notebook is fine for small level testing, but when you actually have to make a big program, then Jupyter Notebook is quite slow. That's one thing. And other thing is you cannot make inter-file connection. And in when you make big program, it's like difficult to put everything in one file because it will be a lot confusing. So I won't suggest Jupyter Notebook to you. So if you use Anaconda, then you can go to for this Anaconda prompt and you can make a simple file and then run it in Anaconda prompt by going to that directory. So this can be one thing. And yeah. Okay, PyCharm. See, PyCharm is fine. If you want to use PyCharm, you can like easily download it from here. But I suggest VS Code is a bit better than PyCharm because PyCharm has some limitation. It's limited to this Python thing. But if you use this VS Code, which is Visual Studio Code, then you have options for everything. Like I'll show you, I have projects in PHP, in Python, and in other language as well, ML and AI. I use like VS Code whenever I have to do the final deployment. So it's my personal favorite. But again, you can choose anything. You can even use this thing, the simple notepad. It will work the same. Just the thing is, you have to type more. That's one thing. So yeah, let's get it saved and let's send it. So let's start from the scratch. So what I would suggest is you can even download this simple Python from org, Python 3.8.3. Okay, so now once you have started, we'll choose a folder where we need to start this all. So I'll go for a folder on desktop. I'll create a folder. This will be like the bootcamp named. So yeah, so this is the folder and sorry, it will be bootcamp. So excuse me. Yeah, so we have to start here. So now I'll tell you one trick. Like for going to this directory, like you want to open a CMD here, what one thing you can do is you can just click on the directory, everything will be highlighted, and you have to type CMD. When you open the CMD, it will be opened in this directory. This is a trick I use mostly for like faster programming. This is a very important thing. So yeah, to remember this one. So once again, I'll have to close my face cam. Yeah. So now like you got this directory. Now let me start with this one. You for VS Code, if you are using VS Code, then you can simply type here code dot. Okay. And if you dot press like code dot, then you will open a VS Code in this directory. So guys, in this event, I won't leave you behind. So like you keep lagging and I keep going on and on and on. So for this one, what I'll do is like I'll wait for a bit whenever I perform a step so that you can follow along with me and we don't have any problem in ongoing, right? So you should have PIP, which is Python installer package. So you can install various module. So now once you have done that, like one thing I'll show you for Python development, like that's gonna really help you is like whatever you want, you just need to search it like pip venv. Venv is a virtual environment. We'll use a virtual environment because it creates everything inside this folder. So it doesn't matter if you have that file somewhere else or it will take space somewhere else. So virtual environment is nice. Like if you have those files, it will use it from the cache. And if you don't have that files, then it will go on directly. So now let's getting started with the VNV thing. So this is all pypy.org. This is a Python site and I generally use this one. So when you click on this one, you'll get this. You have to just copy this stuff and you have to paste it in your VS Code. Now, when to open VS Code terminal, what you need to do is you need to press Control and you need to press like the key under escape, which is a tilde key. So we have to use that one. So when you press, you will get a terminal, which will be a CMD. Now you have to type like pip install virtual environment. So it will go on and it will try to create a virtual environment. But since it's already installed in my computer, so it will install the virtual environment and the dependencies. And if you see like you are using this version, but like this is also available. So I need to update my PIP. I'll do that later. It's not important for this one. So like this, from this, you can install the virtual environment. Now, like once you install the virtual environment, you need to create a virtual environment. So for that one, I'll tell you, you need to go is like Python slash m venv. Okay, sorry, venv, and this is like syntax. And after this, whatever you name it would be the environment name. So for now, I'll name it env because env is a common name that's seen in most of the Python documentation. So if you go for future use, then it will be beneficial. So now it will create a virtual environment inside Python. Now what we are doing is now we are just setting up our Python programming thing. Like we all know using basics of Python and Anaconda and Jupyter Notebook. But when you program a complete software or a program from Python or a web application, then what you need to do is you need to create a virtual environment. You need to make your setup. So this is a process which you should follow because this will make your program run faster at the end. Now like virtual environment is created. So if you are a window user, since most of you will be a window user, so what I'll do, yeah, surely this is fine. Is it fine? Yeah. So once you have created a virtual environment named env, and then you are in the same folder, you have to just do like dot slash, which is showing the parent like the current directory. So it's saying like from current directory, go to env, go to scripts and activate. So we'll use this one, and what you'll see is this env is now activated. So now whatever package you install, whatever stuff you installed, it will be in this particular environment and not in the complete uh, like your C drive. So this would be better for you. So like now it's done. If you're using Mac at this moment, so if we do have any Mac users, so the syntax goes like env slash bin slash activate. Uh, and one thing you have to do is like you have to do like this source. So this is the thing you need for Mac to activate your environment. So yeah. Well, I don't think we don't have a majority of Mac users. So now once it's done, we'll like installed Python pip. So this is the basic environment setup. But before getting to the direct programming and taking it head on, I'll tell you what I used to study Python. Like there were so many MOOC courses and stuff, but still my personal favorite was W3 School. This is the favorite website I use. You can use it for like generally anything. Like it has lot of stuff, like serious stuff. You have JavaScript, you have server side programming, and you have like C++, C sharp, machine learning, and there's so many stuff. So like I really like W3 School, and even in this live stream, we'll use W3 School to like explain you the stuff, the programming, because we learn by examples here. So the thing is like you see something, you can click on this try it yourself stuff, and you can like actually change. Now if I want to change this hello world to hello India, then I can just change it, I can rerun it, and it will compile and it will come here. So like this is very dynamic, and I really like. So I think most of you would be knowing about like Python. So we won't dive much into Python. We'll just put 5 minutes on it. So like don't get bored if you already know it. You'll just get a good brush up for tomorrow's event. Sorry, today's event. So now let's go like going to Python lists. So I think we should start about like Python string would be fine because this stuff is too basic and you should be already knowing this. So like we can print this. Yeah. Should I zoom it? Okay. Now it's fine. go to 150 will be fine. Yeah. So yeah, we'll start from this one. So string literals in Python. See, I'm not going very basic. Sorry, but we have lack of time. We have an hour, so let's see how string works. So like in Python, you can directly use double quotes to assign it to a variable, and if except for that one, you can even perform like arithmetic stuff to the string. It won't be directly an arithmetic stuff, but it would be like a repetition. So we'll get hello 3 times here. Yeah, you see hello hello hello. So this is one thing with strings in Python. So we can use multi-line string by using these triple quotes in the beginning, like beginning and end. This is one thing. So strings are like arrays. This is what Python says. Like many popular programming languages, string in Python are arrays of bytes. However, Python does not have a character data type. A string character is simply a character of length one. Okay, so we know like in Python there's no need to assign the variable. So like whenever there's some string, it automatically starts taking 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, and it works in this way. So now we'll study about slicing. See, slicing is quite important, and slicing is like extracting out certain stuff from a string. So, like in this, like when we slice from 2 to 5, what will happen is like it will include the second one, but it won't include the fifth one. So, like zero, the zero is the code, so it would be like 1 2, so it would be 1 like 2 3 4, but 5 is the upper limit, so it won't take the upper limit, so it would be like, yeah, so it's sorry. Okay, sorry. If the code says here, I'm really sorry. So like leaving this two from the second position, which is this one, we have to take second, third, fourth, and fifth won't be counted because it's the upper limit. So this is how slicing work, and it will like help you a lot when you are extracting some data from website, or you are doing web scraping, or there's a huge document and you want to handle it, or you want to find like there's a document full of email IDs and you need to find out all the email IDs. So for that, you can do slicing. So this is one thing. And there's another concept of negative indexing in which the index starts from here. So if we do like hello world, and so it would be like starting from -2. So this would be like zero, like, sorry, it won't be zero, it will be like first, second, and it will start from here and it will go like this. So yeah, that's one. So it will be like -1, -2, and it will go from here and it will print in this way here. Like it will print in the same way, but it will. So this is how slicing works. These are like very basic stuff. So you can go to this W3 school anytime you get confusion, and you can like learn from here. What I want to focus is like this loop. We'll be using this one in the our today's bootcamp. So I'll show you a bit. So in Python, you can iterate loops through like dictionaries and all that stuff. So you get internal data. So like for X in fruits, we print X. It will iterate like apple, banana, cherry, and stuff. This is how loop iterates. So now when you go for a string, then it prints letter by letter. So yeah, this is basic looping structure. You need to know is for X in fruits, you have to print or this condition and all that stuff. This is very basic stuff. So if you have any confusion in the Python basics, or you are new to Python, no worries. This will take hardly a couple of hours to understand. Not the file handling part. You don't need it at the moment. So for today's thing, even if you cover like the top 10 or 15 from this list, then it will like work like a charm. So no problem. So going back to our Python thing. Yeah. So this is VS Code, and we get back here. So now once you have activated your environment, so now what you need to do is you need to install the Flask. Flask is what we'll be using today. So let me show you about Flask. So what you will do is you'll search pip Flask. The first thing you do is like this, you copy it and yeah, yeah. So this is the Flask thing. So what we will say is like Flask is a lightweight web application framework. It is designed to make like getting started quick and easy with ability to scale up to complex applications. So Flask is like my personal favorite. Like I feel when you are making something small, Flask is way better than Django. Like Django is a web framework. Instagram is built using Django, but the the older version of Netflix, it was built using this Flask thing. We also have one of our own project which is currently deployed on Heroku server, which is completely on Flask, which I'll show you later. So it uses Jinja and Workzug. So Flask is really nice, and today we'll use Flask like because it's one of my favorite. One more thing about Python is when you search about something, you get this sample example. You can really easily learn from the sample example directly. So moving forward, so now let's install the Flask, the virtual environment. So this is how Flask comes. The Flask is here. So now if we go to the Bootcamp folder on the desktop, we see virtual environment. We see all the stuff here. So now it's ready. Now once the Flask is installed, what we'll do is like we'll create a app.py file. Flask like usually needs an app.py file with it. So what we'll do is like if we need to create a thing here, I'm telling for VS Code. This like here I'm using code for that one. So it's different for other stuff. If you don't have a code editor, you can like directly go to this desktop and Bootcamp, and you can like directly add it from here. So if you go to like in the Bootcamp folder, you need to new add a text document, and you can name it whatever like app.py, which I prefer. So this is how you can do it. I'll do it from here. If you are using VS Code, so you just need to use code app.py. Once you do this, this will start now. So first what we'll do is like we'll import the module we just installed. So import Flask. Actually it would be from Flask, import Flask. Do remember this thing. It's important. So now like we have imported Flask. Now app equal to Flask double underscore name, this thing. So this tells like the Flask app where to run this command. And now we'll root the thing app.root. So see what happens is like when we call this Flask module from here, then we'll tell app to run like this app equal to Flask name. So this is the syntax we use to get the Flask app running on its own. Okay. So after this one, what we'll do is we'll root stuff. So this blank thing means like it will be the first thing that will be rooted as soon as the program starts. This is what it means. Like it doesn't need any condition. It doesn't need anything. As soon as the program starts, it will like start running. So like once we get this is the base root or the home root we call it. Then we will define a function which will be called as soon as this root is there. So like we'll write some function named hello, and we will return hello world, and that's it. Let's save it. We have saved it, And now go to this, and what we need to do is we need to do flask run. And you see, this is the command we use, flask run. And then you get this link. You can press Control and click on this link, and it will be hello world. It will be running on a local server, and it will be here. So at this moment, you can end this session which is running by pressing Control C, or you can keep that running and you can just minimize it. Whenever you save the file, it will get restarted on its own. This is a feature of Flask. It's really interesting. So this is like when you're sending data from your Python program to the website directly, like web app. Now, if we want to do it, like we want to call a particular, what we call it, we want to call a particular HTML file as soon as the Flask is running. That we can also do. For that one, what we'll do is inside the Bootcamp, we'll add a folder named templates, and inside templates, we'll create a file which will be like, what we'll call it, index.html. We'll go fine. So yeah, so this is what you need. So I'll show you once in this thing. So you go to Bootcamp, you get this app.py, you have this templates folder where you have to store, and here you can also store that static folder. Inside that you can keep the CSS, you can keep the JavaScript, then you can keep the images. So this is like how it works. Inside templates, you'll have all the web development part. So yeah, if you have any problem with basics of web development, then again what you'll do is like you'll to go to W3 schools, and here what you need to do is HTML and CSS. This is more than enough, and there's complete tutorial for Bootstrap as well. So it's connected to Google. So if you go to tutorials, then you'll see all of these stuff. So it has Bootstrap as well. Learn Bootstrap. So Bootstrap 3 and Bootstrap 4, you have the options. So like, yeah, this is really awesome. So if you have any problem with basic web development, then you can go there. We'll use very, very basic web development, and we won't even use JavaScript, like negligible. And whenever I use it, I'll type it, so no problem. So yeah, now what we'll do is we'll call another, instead of this thing, what we want is we want to call another another HTML page. So for that one, we have to import this thing, render template, which is used to render a template whenever we do it. So now, like, what we'll do is return render template, and inside this we'll have the name of the template that we want to render, which would be index.html. So I have saved it, and inside index.html at the moment I won't do nothing like very serious stuff. So this is way of encoding. Okay, one thing I'll show you guys. I really enjoy that one. Like, if you have Sublime Text installed, Sublime Text is a note editor, and it's like one of the best for web development. Okay, so one second, I'll show you. If you have this Sublime Text, then web development is so easy. All you need to do is you need to write HTML, and the whole this comes at once. So this will be like this is a trial Flask page, and in body we'll write H1, stay home, stay safe, coding. Yeah, so this is something we have called, and we have saved it. So now if I go and I'll run the Flask, Then we'll see like it's again running, and if we press this, then stay home, stay safe, coding. This is what it shows. So this is how you render the template. Now it's not like this is very basic. We'll make complex one. So now let's start with the blogging thing we are thinking to make. The blogging page we are thinking to make. So I'll tell you guys about like making a base blog. To save anything. So yeah, inside templates, let's create a file named base.html. Base.html will be the base file. The base file is the file that can be retained by all the other files in this template. So like, yeah, now we have need head. In head, I'll include a few meta so that you get a good UI. So I'll show you the meta which I use. Meta is the description. So what I'll do is for the web development part, yesterday I was doing this, so I won't do it from the very core because it will take a lot of time. So this is like the meta tags we'll use, which is meta char set and meta name equal to viewport content is this. This is for like the bootstrap part to make it shrink. So if you go to Google and you just type like meta char set, you'll get this thing to copy directly from here, from W3 schools as well. You'll get this meta char set UTF-8. So yeah, this is the thing. We'll use this bootstrap style sheet, which is a CSS. Now again, I'll copy this at the beginning. So yeah, now yeah, yeah, that yeah. Actually, I was just saying a bit. So do we have viewers at the moment? Like, how many to see? Okay, so if anyone has any doubt or stuff, you can like directly type it in the chat, and Sneha will read it out. So like I can answer it. That's one thing. See, so this meta tags I have told you, this is the basic style sheet. Again, this is very, very basic stuff. You can learn it in hours from W3 school. Just hours. So like, yeah, now I'll tell you about the base.html thing. Whenever you create a base file, you create this block title and end block thing. So from the next HTML, whichever HTML we make, we don't need to code all this stuff and all this stuff. It will be automatically retained. All we need to do is like code inside this block, and it will be retained directly. So you know what, I'll code it for you guys, no problem. So meta would be UTF 8. Meta, this is for the viewport, for width equal to, so what this thing will do is like it will keep on adjusting the width according to device width, so there won't be a problem if you're having a PC or a mobile. And this is the initial scale, which would be 1, and the shrink to fit would be no. So, yeah. So this is the meta we have added. Now the Bootstrap style sheet, we can like copy the style sheet. Even if you want, you can place the style sheet inside your this folder, CSS folder inside this templates. So if you create a static folder, then you can place it there. So, or even if you don't, you can directly take it from the Bootstrap website. So this would be something it will look like. So link style sheet like this. So yeah, that's it. That's the style sheet we've done. Now let's go to the title. And inside title, we'll make a block. So block would be like block title, and there would be an end block which will end the block. So this is the base of like base HTML file, and from the next of the HTML we don't need to type this much. It will like work very easily. So yeah, this is the blocks we have made. Now let's move to the body. So now in body we need to like make a navigation bar. So this CSS we have copied. If we like press control and like we open, then this CSS has this navigation bar and all this classes made, which we'll use throughout this one. So now that we have included the CSS, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. 1 second. So here you can see you get the post title. And so yeah, in Flask, what you generally do is you call a function inside the Python part using this one. Okay, you send and receive requests and all that stuff. So due to like time constraints, I'll have to end this stream here. If I do get time in future, I'll surely like continue on this topic. So that was it, guys. I'll share you a link which will have all the codes and stuff, so you can check along with that one. You have my phone number in the group. You can directly call me, you can directly text me. I'll explain it to you guys again if you want from the beginning. In this whole hackathon, in any movement, if you get stuck at some place, you can directly call me or my teammates, and we'll surely support you in this hackathon. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you liked the live stream. Thank you.